I have been gaming for most of my life, like over 20 years, and I feel like I've played a lot of games. Look at all these video games, but even an elite gamer such as myself is not without flaws. As I've become more involved with the gaming community over the last few years, I've come to find that there are a metric fuck ton of fan favorite games that I, for whatever reason, have just entirely missed. So I plan to remedy that. This is a new series I'm starting where I will play a fan favorite game for the first time and give my impressions of it. And I could think of no better place to start than a first-person shooter set under the Atlantic Ocean. This is The Games I Should Have Played, Bioshock. Major spoilers ahead for the first Bioshock. Would you kindly proceed with caution?
My lover stands on golden sand.
I want to talk about the world of Bioshock first, because every time I would get frustrated from dying over and over to the same Big Daddy because I suck at video games, the thing that kept pulling me back was the City of Rapture. The concept of an underwater city is not new. In fact, it's really fucking old. But Irrational Games' modern twist on the concept is so captivating that my stupid words could never do it justice. The first view of Rapture while riding in on the bathysphere is beautiful, but also unsettling, and that feeling is replicated about 7,000 more times as the game progresses. Every inch of Rapture is so impressively detailed that I'm convinced even if the game was completely silent, you would still be able to understand the story because the world is telling the story as you explore it. Thank God it's not silent though, because the sounds in this game are some of the best parts of it. For real, the sound design in this game is wild. Everything you interact with makes a distinct noise that scares the shit out of you if you're not ready for it. Playing this game with headphones on is even more insane, because you could just be walking around minding your own business when a splicer 2 floors up says some shit like, "I was gonna be a star!" And it sounds like she's on the couch right next to you yelling in your ear. It's terrifying, and I can't get enough of it. When it comes to the gameplay, I have a sort of love-hate relationship with Bioshock. At its core, it's a simple first-person shooter with some RPG elements. But once you get further into the game and you've got a whole arsenal of guns and like 9 superpowers, you start to see how complex the combat can be. There are so many different upgrade systems in this game to the point where it can be overwhelming. Each weapon has different ammo types and you can upgrade certain aspects of each weapon. You can use Atom, which you collect from Little Sisters, to buy new abilities called plasmids and make them more powerful. You can equip tonics that boost your abilities. You can use materials you find around Rapture to craft ammo and supplies. Basically, no matter what type of player you are, you can tailor the combat to fit your specific playstyle. When it comes to enemies, there are technically only 3 different enemy types: splicers, Big Daddies, and security bots. But among these, there are different variations that all have different abilities and weaknesses, so you have to make sure that you have a wide variety of ammunition in order to deal with them. Splicers can range from a crackhead with a pipe to a goddamn magician teleporting around the room and throwing fireballs at you. And I won't necessarily say that they're bullet sponges, but they're pretty spongy. You can pretty easily go through your entire stock of ammo fighting these dudes. Big Daddies are essentially the boss fights of the game. There are 2 types of Big Daddies. Bouncers, which are like if you put an NFL linebacker in a metal suit and replaced his hand with a drill, or Rosies, which aren't as fast as bouncers, but will pin you down in a corner and spam you with their rivet gun and proximity mines. And Big Daddies protect the Little Sisters, so if you want your sweet, sweet crack, Adam, you're gonna have to take out her daddy first. I feel weird saying daddy so much, but if you've already rescued or harvested all the Little Sisters in the area and you encounter a Big Daddy and you have the hypnotized plasmid equipped, then congratulations, because you now have this big, loud, violent motherfucker as your personal bodyguard and best friend. Make sure not to shoot him by accident though, because then the spell will wear off and you will be the recipient of all of his pent-up aggression. Security devices are by far the weakest enemies you will face. Whether it's a security camera, a flying bot, or a turret, usually it doesn't take more than a few bullets to put them out of commission. Your other option for dealing with security bots is hacking them and turning them on your enemies. Hacking can be very useful, but it also brings me to the first reason for the hate portion of this love-hate relationship. This puzzle. Fuck this puzzle. Every time you want to hack a security bot, a health station, or a vending machine, you have to do this. And if you can't complete it, you either lose health or set off a security alarm that sends out a ton more bots and whatever enemies are in the area to attack you for the next 60 seconds. The other reason for the love-hate whatever I said, and this may surprise some of you, is the Vita Chambers. Vita Chambers are located around the map, and they're where your character is resurrected when you die. You don't have to restart from a checkpoint or fight any of the same enemies. You just die, pop up in the chamber, and you're ready to fight again. And to most people, that probably sounds pretty good. You don't have to wait for a dumb loading screen, you're just back in the action. But the problem I have with this system is there are times where I don't want to jump back into the same fight right away. There have been many times where I fought my way through an area, encountered a big daddy, died, and then jumped back into the same fight with no ammo and nowhere to find more. In this situation, I would much rather restart from a checkpoint and then be more strategic about how to take out the enemies in front of me without using all my ammo. Now, before you all obliterate me in the comments, I'm not saying that this is a bad mechanic. I'm sure it's widely considered a good mechanic. I'm just saying that I don't like it because, as I said before, I suck at video games. Finally, we get to the story. I loved this story. It starts out pretty ambiguous. You're playing as a guy named Jack, sitting on a plane flying over the Atlantic Ocean. You don't know who you are or where you're going, and then suddenly you black out, hear people screaming, and the plane goes down. When you come to, you're in the water, surrounded by fire and remnants of the plane you were just on, and you swim to a very conveniently located lighthouse. From this point on, you are thrust into the world of Andrew Ryan, the psychotic billionaire who was tired of living under the laws of government and religion, so he decided to build his own city at the bottom of the ocean. When you enter Rapture, you're saved from your first splicer by a mysterious man on the radio named Atlas. He tells you he needs your help to escape Rapture with his family who's waiting for him on a submarine. Now, as you explore on your way to meet Atlas and his family, you start to uncover what happened to Rapture before you got there, using the fantastic world building I talked about earlier. You come to find out that there has basically been a civil war between Ryan and the lower class citizens of Rapture, led by a gangster named Frank Fontaine, and now the entire city has pretty much gone to shit, and everyone who is still there is either in hiding or is addicted to Adam. Then when you finally get to Neptune's Bounty, where Atlas's family is waiting in the submarine, Ryan blows it up, and now you and Atlas, who you still have never met in person, are on your way to kill Ryan. But when you finally get to Ryan, he tells you that you were born in Rapture, and you've been brainwashed to obey any command with the phrase, "would you kindly," before it, which is something Atlas has been saying to you since he first made contact with you on the radio. And you find out that you were the one who hijacked the plane and brought it down next to the lighthouse. Then he orders you to kill him with a golf club, which is super violent and awesome, and would have been a great ending. But surprise, motherfucker! That's not the ending, because once you stop the self-destruct protocol that Ryan was about to use on the city, Atlas reveals that he's been Fontaine this whole time, and you just gave him the key to the city. So Fontaine sends a bunch of splicers and security bots to kill you, and you're rescued by Dr. Tenenbaum and the Little Sisters. Then you go to fight Fontaine, who's heavily drugged up on Adam, so all of his plasmids are turned up to 11. Now supposedly if you have electric gel, this fight is super easy, which has led a lot of people to say it sucks. But I didn't know that, so I went in with almost no electric gel, and it ended up being pretty challenging. And then depending on whether you've been a good boy and rescued the Little Sisters, or you're a fucking monster and harvested them, there are two different endings. I chose to rescue them, which gave me what I believe was the better ending. The little girls escape Rapture and go on to live full lives in the outside world, and you get to watch them grow up until you eventually die in a hospital bed, surrounded by all the creepy little girls you once saved. And doesn't that just warm your heart? Okay, now to figure out how to end this video. I'm really glad I chose Bioshock to start off this series. My favorite games involve an exciting adventure in an interesting world, and what a goddamn adventure this game was. Despite how frustrated I got at times because of my own lack of skills, I knew I had to finish this game so I could see where this world and its story would take me, and I'm excited to see what the other installments in this series have to offer. Hey gamers, thanks for watching. If you like this video, let me know in the comments what fan favorite game you think I should play next. Make sure to like and subscribe, and follow us on Twitch because we're going to start streaming at least once a week. Until next time, peace out gamers.